Live.
We are live. Happy Friday.
We gotta make sure she puts us on the list.
Okay, I think we're good. Everybody's here. So, I think we're going to get started. So, I'm not wearing a cat shirt because it's like you're going to start getting bored with all my cat shirts. So, I'm back to one that I haven't worn for a long time. This is a superhero shirt. It's a Hawaiian shirt, but if you look carefully, there's all these little superheroes on it, and most of them I don't know and can't name, but I think it's cool. So we're gonna do a little bit. Hopefully, everybody had a nice Fourth of July. I was gonna wear my Fourth of July shirt, so I did a drum circle in my neighborhood for our neighborhood Fourth of July barbecue block party, and I had everybody drumming, and I even redid my bundle sticks. I don't have a set to show you, but I'll maybe bring them next time. Red, white, and blue, and all the buckets were red, white, and blue. And I brought the Danoons down, the African drums, and I brought the muffler out. So people had a good time playing on the muffler and learning a little bit about different instruments. So we had a lot of fun, and I think we're probably going to do that again next year. And I was supposed to do it last year, but I ended up getting sick and I was unable to do it. So that was exciting. Also exciting for me is next weekend I get to go to my Drums Along the Rockies to see my troopers. This is the troopers, the kids, not the group that I'm with. The group that I'm with is going to be performing in a month in Indianapolis, and they'll be there as well. And I'm also doing that On the Road Again program where I'm buddied up with a current trooper where they have a show tonight, for instance, in the Midwest. I can't remember what city, but we encourage them and they communicate back and forth with us, and we get a little coin with the name of their show, and their show is very, very good, and they are going to do spectacular this year. So that is exciting from a musical perspective. And then another welcome. Jasmine's in Hawaii.
Now, this is in Thailand.
Nice. Of
A lake in
course.
Thailand. Yeah.
Gorgeous. All right. Well, I do have a new toy to show you. So, one of the neighborhood people who came to the class or came to the block party was the day after was out shopping, and guess what I got? I got a cheese grater that looks like a guitar. And it's totally appropriate because I had made the comment when I was demonstrating the different instruments that you could have fun in your own kitchen, with a cheese grater. Well, the next day, I get a guitar cheese grater. So that was just so appropriate and cool and a surprise. So, yay, that's always fun because it's hard I've seen about everything out there. I've got drumstick chopsticks, and I've got my kitchen spoons or drumsticks on one side, and so it's hard to kind of find things that I haven't seen before. So that was a new one. So I was just like, oh, awesome. So that made my week. So what I thought we would do is we would do a little bit of dissection of bucket rock, and also then we'll maybe do some easy triplet blues, and maybe we'll see how far we get with Bucket Mania. And do let me know, send me an email or whatever if you want me to. I promised you I was going to do those play-along videos, and then the last 2 weeks have been crazy, and I haven't been able to do the play-alongs. But if you want me to create a video of me playing through the whole thing with the music that you can play along with, let me know, or whatever ideas you have. I'm open to doing that because we always seem to have fun stuff to do. So I'm going to share my screen.
Well, the bucket mania and easy triplet blues, since I've gone through them, especially because they're short, are really not bad. I can get through those two just fine. It's bucket rock. I get so lost. I never wind up at the same place in the music. I can't figure out what's going on, and it doesn't have any tune to hook onto.
Okay, well we'll attack that. I think that's a good plan of action, and I do have a slowed down version because the original version they do is super fast, and so I slowed it down. And but let's just jump in there and tackle it, and feel free to jump in if you have questions or whatever. So I have it pulled up here. It is called Bucket Rock, and I'd sent this out a while ago, so hopefully that's big and you can see it pretty well. I don't know that I want to make it too much bigger. Now, so let's just talk about this for a minute. So you'll notice this is a score. So a score has four, there's 4 lines that are attached together, and then we have another grouping down here. And so what this is showing you, if you were the director or the conductor or whatever, you could see this is meant for several players. You could have 4 players, you could have 8 players with 2 on a part or more. And so there's a person called Bucket 1 or a group called Bucket 1 and a group called Bucket 2. There's a cowbell player and a tambourine. So this is kind of showing you how the parts fit together. If you scroll down, however, way down here to, it's got 3 pages of score, 4 pages, page 5, oh my. Okay, there's the end. And here's our little key, which is always helpful to look at so we know what we're supposed to hit where. So here's Bucket 1. So I'd like to just start with Bucket 1. So if you have this, pull it up. And it's kind of small for me to read, so I actually have a paper copy. And I like to color code my copy, especially when, some of these little doodads look kind of like these, and they're hard to see which line is it on. So these are kind of like little diamonds, and these are round circles. And so let's just go through the key, because that's always important to know what's what. So the top of the bucket is that 3rd space up. That's our snare line if we were playing drum set or any concert band or whatever. Snare is almost always that 3rd space up. And if you're a piano player, that's C. Okay, so you can also see there's this here at the top. That's the right side of the bucket, that little diamond. And then if you were to look down here, for instance, that 2nd space up, that right here, that's the left side of the bucket. So we've got the top, the right, the left. The rim, that makes sense that it's an X because X is usually a symbol or a rim shot or something like that. And then the X that's above the staff with a line through it, that's clicking your sticks together. So those are the things we want to know about. And you'll notice if we just start here, we've got measure 1, and then we've got this little doodad, which means repeat that previous measure again. They just don't want to write it out, and it's hard for your eyes to have too many things in a row. So you just do that like this. So that means we play that a 2nd time, and we play it a 3rd time. And then we move on to this measure, which is slightly different at the end. And then we've got this little figure, and we do it 3 times as well. So there's a lot of repetition, which is good. It's not like every measure is something new and different. So let's just start with measure 1. So if I have my bucket here, and I've got my bundle sticks. So basically, I'm going to turn my chair that's kind of like this, so you can see there's the top of the bucket, the right side, the left side, the rim, and it's usually the front rim rather than the rim close to you, and then a stick click. So if we look at this, and I'm going to pull up my paper music so I can see it a little bit better. Well, I guess I'll put it right there and change my glasses so that I can, oh, miracle. Isn't it nice when you can see things? Okay, so we notice that, and they don't really tell us this, so but it makes sense that this whole thing right here is on the right side of the bucket. That would make sense that it would be your right hand because, we wouldn't want to be over here like this with our left hand. So we're going to be with our right hand. And basically those are 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you look closely, we have an accent. And the accent is on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No surprise, 2 and 4 are our best friends. So we're going to want to emphasize the 2 and the 4. So for instance, it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's kind of like our typical rock beat, what we would do on a hi-hat and the snare, but they're just applying it to buckets. Then you notice that other note is also on 2 and 4, and it's on the top of the bucket. So this is a classic rock beat, like what we would be playing on a hi-hat or a ride cymbal. So it's going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's all do that together, not too fast. So find something to play. Hopefully you've got something like a bucket, about like 1 and 2 and here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. and repeat, and 2 and 3 and 4, and one more time, and 3 and 4, and. So we just played the first 3 measures. Not so terrible. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. Okay, now something new and different, but not really. It's pretty much this measure 4 is exactly the same. The only thing we're doing is we're dropping this last little note. We're just not playing it. It's not there because we put a quarter note there and it gets both of those counts. And so we just stop on 4. So in other words, it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We don't do the and. Okay, so we got the first 4 measures. Let's try it. 1, 2. Ready? Go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and second time, and third, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's that. Okay, now this is going to get a little interesting. They're giving us some guidance on the sticking, lefts and rights. We've also got some rim, so we want our left hand on the rim and the right hand is on the top. But if you look kind of carefully, if you look at the first 1 and 2 and, just this much, let's look at that much, it's going to go like this. 1 and 2 and. So it's not together, but it's left, left, right, left. But then, guess what? Right hand has to be on the rim. So we got to switch our hands like this. Right, right, left, right. So we're going to be like this and this. This and this. And they do that for visuals, so it makes it interesting. Otherwise, we could have easily just gone 1 and 2 and 3 and... But that's kind of boring to look at, isn't it? It's just kind of the same thing. This way it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's going to be kind of tricky and a little challenging. So at first, we might not want to do that. We might just want to play it with one hand on the rim and one hand on the top and not moving around. But basically, that's what's happening for 3 measures. Let's try that. Kind of slow, maybe a little slower. 1 and 2 and. Ready? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so hopefully we made it through that. That's a little tricky. Now, measure 8, we have something going on. So the rhythm, the way that we would tackle this, we're going to play the whole rhythm on top for right now. Once you get the rhythm, then we're going to put it where it belongs. So for right now, we're just going to play on the top, even though we're playing all over the place. The rhythm is 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and. And we have seen that rhythm before. The 3 and a 4 and is pepperoni pizza, right? So we've got 1 and 2, pepperoni pizza. So it might look scary, but we've been playing that rhythm for a few years now, you know? Pepperoni pizza is 3 and a 4 and. So let's tackle this. Let's do the 1 and 2 and put it where it belongs. So the right hand's going to be on the rim, the left hand's going to be on the top, and it's going to be like 1 and 2, okay? And then we go to the sides for pepperoni pizza, okay? So, you know, it looks scary, but it's not. It's just 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and. Okay, so now we are on measure 9. Measure 9 starts with a big rest, and then B means both. Both hands on top. And then we've got a click, click, click. So it's rest, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so far we've got that. That's not too terrible. We get to do that 3 times. So let's try 9, measure 9 3 times. 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, sorry, it's not exactly the same, is it? There's not a rest on this one, but it's similar. It's click, 2, 3, and 4. Click, 2, 3, and 4. So it's not exactly the same, but the only difference is this one we're resting on 1 and this one we're clicking on 1. So it's similar. Okay, so let's try 9, 11, and 12 doing it right. Okay, so here we go. Rest, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now we have 3E, 1E and a 1E and a 2, 3E and a 4. You can think of this as avocado toast, okay? So it's just avocado toast. Or if you want the real notation, how it would be counted, 1E and a 2, 3E and a 4. And we're accenting the first note, that av in avocado. Avocado toast. All right. Let's take the first 2 lines and see if we can do it. 1, 2. Here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 1, and second time. Third. Rest. Click, click, click. Click. Click, click, click. Click. Click, click, click. Avocado toast. All right. Next we are, let's make this go down just a little bit. If I can get a little bit more going here. Okay, so we are on, measure 13, visual. Oh gosh, what are we going to do there? We can do whatever we want to. There's all kinds of really cool visuals. So visuals are just where you can, twirl your sticks or do this kind of thing or, make whatever you want. All kinds of, we have to come up with a cool visual because it's 2 measures. Plus, we'll have to listen to the song and see what might sound good. If they're playing a guitar, we pretend we're playing a guitar or something like that. But for 2 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we got to do something. Okay, so that's going to happen there. We're up to measure 15. So measure 15, they want rim, right, left, side, and rim, right, left, which is on the side. So it's going to go like this. Right, left, side, right, left, side. So it's kind of like here to there, here to there. Not too terrible. Let's try that. Ready? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now, this one is a little bit more busy. It's got different stickings and it's got different places. So if we kind of look at what's on count 1, we got a rim, and then we've got a left on the side, and then we come back with the right hand to the top. So that first little thing is 1 and 2 and then the second half of the measure is left, right, left. All the sides of the bucket. So side, right side, left side. So if we put that together, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that one might take a little minute to, get together. Where am I going? That's the hardest thing with these is it's the kind of thing where you kind of have to memorize it because reading it goes quite fast. So you kind of have to just play it enough to know, oh, okay, this goes a bunch of times in a row to where you can do it when the song goes fast. You don't have to be like, where am I going? You already kind of know, oh, this is the part that goes like this to this to this, this to this to this, that kind of thing. So we made it to letter A. Letter A is... where we're going. This one is kind of tricky for my eyes, so I had to color code it. So the right hand's going to be on the side. the left hand's going to be on the top. And so it's going to go rest, 2, and rest, 4. Okay, so our hands aren't moving or anything, just the right hand's on the side, the other one's on the top. So rest, 2, and rest, 4. Then the next measure is, this one is a little bit more complicated because we're going to go from here to here. So we're going from like left hand on top, right hand on side, to right hand on top, left hand on side. Measure 18. So it's going to go rest, 2, and 3, and 4, and so we're moving plus the rhythm, those are off beats. So if we counted this, it's 1, 2, and the 3 is rested, and 4, and. So it's like if we were just to play it all on top, rest, 2, and 3, and 4, and we got that kind of, offbeat kind of thing happening. So that's kind of sometimes tricky for people. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and it's syncopated, kind of syncopated. Then we move on to 19. The good news is exactly like 17, and 20 is exactly like 18. So it's like a 2-bar phrase. 2 bars, and then we repeat those same 2 bars. So that's nice, when you're memorizing stuff to know, okay, I'm going to do this whole little thing 2 times. So let's try A. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, and 4, rest, rest, rest. And it's probably going to fit really nice with the music. So that's how that little section goes. Now 21 looks really complicated, but it's really not too bad. If you break it down, we got an avocado toast. But when we get to the toast part, we're going to actually change the word toast to straw. We're going to go avocado strawberry. We've seen strawberry before. We've seen that rhythm before. Or Kentucky. So avocado strawberry. Then this one's just the opposite of this one. The 8th note and 2/16. We got 2/16 and an 8th. So this is the reversed. This is Tennessee. Or we could think of it as coconut. Okay, so strawberry coconut. And then we've got a coconut again. So avocado, strawberry, coconut, coconut. That's our rhythm. If we were to play it all on top, avocado, let's see, I gotta say straw. Avocado, strawberry, coconut, coconut. But what we're going to do the top, the rim, and the sides. So the way that we would tackle this piece, and we would just play that measure 1.5 million times on top. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 until we get it in our brain. Then we would put it on where it belongs. So, this would take some practice. But, we're just kind of going through it so that maybe before the next class, you can kind of look it over, listen to the video again, listen to the song, and kind of start to say, oh, that's not so hard. And we don't have to read it so much. We can just know, oh, it goes like this. Okay. And then 22, we're back to a rhythm we've seen before right above it. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we have, they're just recycling the same old rhythms. Here's the same rhythm we just saw 2 seconds ago here and here, and that's nowhere else, okay? So that's coconut, rest, and it's all on top, and it's accented, so it's loud. Rest, rest. And then this one looks busy, but it's super easy. Avocado toast, avocado, avocado. Or pepperoni toast, pepperoni, pepperoni. Or if we were going to count it with musical terms, 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a. The big thing is you want to give 2 all the space. There's a lot of space because if you do imagine, you take one of these groupings and plop it here, you're playing the first one, but not these 3. So that's why that's long, and you don't want to rush that. So when you're counting, you're going to account for the E and So like if I were playing this in my mind, I would go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Otherwise, 2, I might rush and jump in earlier than I'm supposed to. So I'm going to actually sing in my head E and So I make sure that I come back in on 3 where it belongs, and I'm not what's called rushing that rest, which is a common thing that people do when they're not subdividing in their head, like I just explained. And that's why drum lines and stuff, you'll hear them go, right before there's a section, you'll hear them verbalizing out loud different things that account for that space so everybody comes in properly. If we look at, we're going to keep going, B is going to be really easy. Basically, this is a really standard 50, I call this the 50s rock beat. So right hand's going to be up on our rim. Left hand's going to be down on the left side of the bucket, and then it's going to come up to the top. So this one's on the left side of the bucket. This is on the top of the bucket. Left side of the bucket, top of the bucket. So the way this is going to go, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so, and that's a classic, you've probably heard this beat before. That can be on the 2 or the 4. I played it the first time on the 2, so 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and, or it could be on both, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, so this is a classic 50s rock beat. So that's what this is. The second half. The first half is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and but they want it on the side and the top. So that's good news for us because it's not that hard. So let's just try B. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then the fun begins, especially if you have a guitar cheese grater. You get to do air guitar with the solo. So you could air guitar, and I can use my cheese grater, and we're going to jam out while the guitar player's going, but we need to still be counting because we want to make sure we don't jam out longer than we need to. We get 4 measures of jamming out, so that's 16 counts. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, second time 2, 3, 4, third time 2, 3, 4, fourth time 2, 3, 4, C. Now, woo! We made it to C. We got, this is a pretty long song. We might want to, not tackle too much all at once. Oh, we're almost done. We'll just finish it out talking, and then we'll start to put it together. That way, if you're not sure about something, you can go back and listen to the video and try to figure it out. So let's just keep proceeding forward. So C, again, we're using the same rhythms. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in. It's just where do you put the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in. So C, we've got a right side, left side, and then a top, top, and then a right side, left side, top, top. And then the next measure is almost the same. Side, side, top, top, avocado toast. All right, so just mix and match. So let's try C. 1 and 2 and here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. That's all it is. And what does this mean, this little doodad? It means you repeat those 2 measures, not just the one like we did earlier, when it's crossing in between. Like if we look up above, here, this is the previous 1 measure. And when we get down to something that looks like this, where it's tying this measure and this measure together, it's in the middle. It means repeat the previous 2 measures. So instead of writing this a second time, which is hard for our eyes to like, where am I? You just know, okay, you memorize this and just do it again. just do that whole thing again, and that's what that means. So we're going to play this 2 times. They could have easily also put a little repeat and just went back, but this is a nice way to write. And then we're back down to our little beat again. This time, however, see up here we had a 2 and a 4, and then a 2 and a 4 and. Here we're starting off with the first measure has the 4 and. They're just reversing it. They're just taking this 2-note grouping or 2-measure grouping and flipping it. So measure 2 is measure 1. So, they're just playing around with the same thing. So it's really not too terrible. Like we already did it up here, we do the same thing. We just reverse the measures, And then this one is the one I just described kind of a minute ago. Well, almost. Instead of 2 and 4 and, they're making us do 1 and 3 and, which is a little unusual. We usually don't like to play on the 1 and the 3, so it would go 1 and 3 and. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's just a little different. And then we continue with that measure 40. We have 1 and 2, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And they want a crescendo. So we're going to start piano. 3 E and a, 4 E and a. We're going to start quiet, and we're building to the rock out section at D. Okay, so that's, they're writing this in like 8 measure, 2, 4, 6, 8 measure sections. And that makes sense, so this is all going to fit really nicely with the song. So D is like the climactic part of the song. Oh, and this is where this is also a very common beat that we use a lot on hi-hat, and it's also forte, so we want to be loud here. We're going to be up on the rim, and if you think about it, it's like pepperoni, 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 or avocado, whatever you want, or one and a. But the right hand's going to come down on 2 on the top of the bucket and 4. So in other words, it's going to be like 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So we're only playing one hand. Now I know my hand's probably in the way here. I'm going to move like this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4. This is a common beat on the hi-hat. It's twice as fast as the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's kind of a choo-choo train. Check it, 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 check it. Okay, so that's what's happening on at least that measure. And then we start out the measure the same. 1 E and a 2, 3 and 4 and. So it's on the side. 3 and 4 and is measure 42. And then guess what? The good news is we get to do that 2-bar phrase a second time. So let's try this one slow, this whole line, about like 1 E and a, 2 E and a, here we go. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a, 2, a 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2, 3 and 4 and that's kind of slow. If it's up to tempo, and it's probably going to fit really nice with the song when we hear that. So now we're on the very home stretch, the last line of the tune. We've basically got avocado toast, but it's on the side and the top, and then we repeat side and the top. So it's going to be like avocado toast, avocado toast, avocado toast, avocado toast. Now this next measure, this is a kind of a busy little measure. It's kind of like the one we did up above earlier. But if we break it down, we can think about it like avocado, strawberry, coconut, avocado. Or if we counted it, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and a. But they want it on the rim, and then they want the snare, the top, that first one, and then it's going to be the left hand on the second one. So if we played it kind of slow, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and a. Again, 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and so that one's a little challenging. Then and it's going right into the next measure, which is 1 and 2 E and. So strawberry coconut, okay. And then we've got a right, left, both. So it's side, side, top, top, both. So if we played like, let's say 47 to the end, ready, here we go. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and both. So that one would take a minute to kind of work on. And the way, again, that I always suggest, get the rhythm first in one spot. It's almost like a broken record. It's just like 4 times. You're just like, if you don't even want to look at the music, if it freaks you out, 4 times we're gonna go. But they're alternating. It's a right one, left one, right one, left one, and then just boom, 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 boom. So it seems and looks more complicated, but if you just think about it like a broken record, boom, 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 pop. That's going to be really cool. So that is the tune. And I think what I'd like to do next is play the music slow down, and I'm going to move my little mouse along where we are. I won't play it just yet. We'll just look at it and see if we can kind of get the flow of it, get the gist of it. I'll try to get this as sometimes my mouse, it's hard for me to get it back to the new line, so I'll do my best to keep it in the right spot. So when I'm going along like this, when I get to the end, I gotta try to make it back. All right, so let me share the tune. Any questions before we listen to the tune? Everybody somewhat kind of know what's happening?
On 41, when you do the top after playing on the rim, is that with your right hand?
41. Yes, we're going to do that on the right hand.
Right
and
hand, okay.
I just know that. You know, they don't tell us, but I just know that because that's a common figure that we see a lot in drumming, is where we're on the hi-hat and our hands are like this. And again, it's a right hand world. So if you're a lefty, your hi-hat would be over here and you'd start with your left hand. But pretty much it's expected that you kind of would start, you know, if you're playing with a group, if you're playing by yourself, you can switch everything around in your head. But basically it starts with the right hand. So if you think about 1 E and it's really natural to have it.
Move. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to go doon 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 doon. So the tricky thing is when you come back, sometimes when I've taught lessons to kids and stuff, they want to start out right hand again here. And this is the tricky note right here to make sure that's a left hand. So if you're playing along, 1 E and 2, sometimes people want to go back with their right hand. That will mess you up. So the right hand comes down, and then this left hand just finishes it. E and then you're back on the right hand lead again. That's what we call it.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Okay, so let's try listening. And I slowed it down to, it was 152. I slowed it down to 115. Let's see, hopefully you can hear it. Let's get it going here. Can y'all hear that? Second time. stopped. So hopefully it didn't blast your ears out. I think it's going to start again. Let me see if I can get it before it does. Okay, get rid of that. All right. So now sometimes you will notice you're not hearing this part, right? You are playing along with somebody who's drumming on a drum set. So there are times where like it really jived nicely with what the drummer was doing, but like you're not hearing your part because you're playing along as you're part of the band. Now, what I can do is create a play along where you can hear what we're supposed to be doing with them, but sometimes you could kind of hear where like, oh, I could see how we're kind of doing that tom-tom thing. We were kind of doing that tom-tom thing that was similar. There was another spot where we were kind of doing something similar, but that's, might throw you off because you're like, well, I don't hear all this stuff that we're supposed to be doing. Well, no, because we're the ones playing it. But that's bucket one's part. And if we really wanted to, just for fun, we're not going to look at bucket two because it's pretty similar. It's like opposite in some ways. But the easy part to get us going is we might want to just play the cowbell part along with the soundtrack, or we might want to play the tambourine part. It's pretty not so difficult. It's kind of like the same thing, just eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3. We're emphasizing, so if we had a tambourine, I should brought one down here, 2 and 4, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ching 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 ching. Or we could tap on it with our bundle stick, dun 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 dun, with the accents. And same thing with the cowbell. We're just pretty much keeping time, a lot of quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and repeating, and that would be an easy way to get us started. And then ultimately, and what I would suggest you do if you're going to practice this is take it in sections. And maybe when I do my play along, I'll do, okay, here's the beginning to A with the music several times or something. And then, okay, now we're going to go from A to B with the music. And then ultimately, here's the song all together. Because nobody is probably just going to sight read this perfectly. I even have to look at it a bit just because I have to, first of all, it's hard to see for me, the right-hand side versus the left-hand side versus the top. So I got to blow it up, and sometimes I color code it a little bit so that it's like, what line is that on? But kind of once you get the groove of it, and you don't have to play it exactly like they're playing it either. You could always kind of modify and just play along. It's a great soundtrack where we could just, just be going bum 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 bum. But it's nice to be able to learn it and be able to play it. So what do y'all think? It's a little bit not beginner. I'd say this is a little more intermediate-ish, but it's not undoable because a lot of these rhythms we've seen before.
I think modern music is too hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
No,
I can't. I was going to say I can slow it even further, but there does get it to a point where it loses its coolness, so instead of going, it's going to be, like, but for practice purposes, and believe it or not, that was the slowed version, because the actual version, let me just let you hear this just for a quick second. We won't play the whole thing. Whoa, I just what happened to everything? Okay, let's just listen to 152. All right, come on, 152.
1, 2, 1, 2.
So yeah, 115 is better, but I could probably take it down to 80 or something, or 90 beats per minute, and just, for practice purposes, I can slow it down further and send it to you. So that
Our generation that we can relate to.
yeah, it's kind of fun, and so this is a fun way to, it's like a trick to get people to learn rhythms and patterns. If you make it fun, you throw it on a bucket. People want to, kids especially, you know, if I just pulled out this music and said, okay, we're going to learn this, people would be like, oh, this is like torture. But if you're like, hey, listen to this soundtrack. Do you like it? Hey, you want to play bucket along with it? Do you want to play with other people, make it look really cool and do it for a concert and dress up crazy? Oh, man, everybody's in. So it's a way to get people to learn how to read music and play rhythms and play together and all those kind of things in a fun way. But it's, you know, nobody wants to, you know, nothing against classical music, but it can be kind of painful, you know, whereas this is, you know, catchy. Everybody wants to clap along and dance, you know, so it's fun. So, and that's, you know, it has to be fun. If it's not fun, you know, why spend our time learning all this stuff? But it's got great rhythms, you know, or we could do our own. So I think I want to save a little time because I know easy triplet blues is something people like, and it's a good way to end. So we've kind of talked this through, and then I think maybe the play-alongs would be the best way to, especially since we have 2 weeks before the next one. I can, and I will do it this time. The last 2 weeks were particularly crazy, but I can put it together in over the weekend and have it to you by next week so that you can maybe start playing along with this with a slower down version just for fun. And remember, all of this is fantastic for your brain. So like this is like taking care of yourself, you know, it's like you do stuff for your body, you know, you try to eat right, you try to exercise. This is like good for our brains because you have to coordinate things, you have to see things, listen to things, react, exercise, you know, so there's more to this than banging on a bucket, a whole lot more. And so I think, you know, if you do studies on older people and ask people who are in their 90s or whatever, what did they do? They were active in something that they loved, you know, music, dance, the arts, you know, all of that is fantastic stuff. So just think of it that way. It's worth the effort to kind of, okay, maybe I'm not going to be a world famous percussionist, but I'm going to tackle this bucket piece, you know, and if I can't, let me just get measure one, you know, I'll be happy if I can just get measure one. And then, hey, what's next? Well, measure two. It's the same as one. Yay, I'm already ahead. So anyway, that's my little pep talk. So let's get, easy triplet blues because it's nice and chill and makes you think you're in a lounge or something. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the music, the sheet music, and also the soundtrack music. And we'll just tackle it. I haven't looked at this for a while, so here we go. Oh, I gotta share my screen. Oh, sorry. Share my screen. Oh. All right, hang on. Okay, we're gonna start over. All right, so from the top, I need to move that out the way so I can see. Okay. Here we go.
1, 2, 3,
one place where I was on the top and I should have been on the side. But overall, want to try that one more time? Let's do it. And at worst, you can just clap along. All right, here we go. I'm going to find the tune. This one's nice and jazzy, bluesy. Okay, gotta find, where's my music? Move this around. Oh, hang on. Too many things on the screen. Gotta find it again. The problem is I have a little bar with your faces and it's blocking my tune. Okay, here we go.
Put the arrow so we can follow the bouncing ball.
Sure, I will do that. I won't play this time, but I will do the arrow. Maybe. All right, let me get my... Too many things on a small screen. Okay, right. There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, yeah, it's pretty much triplets or quarter notes. And just to kind of review that really quick, we have just enough time. Let me make this a little bit, go back to the beginning. You know, quarter notes are just the ones that go along with the beat there. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next measure, 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4 triplet, 1. Of course, I'm just playing it on the top. We would put it where it belongs. But the way to tackle this one would just be playing along, maybe in one surface. We can try playing along, and maybe we can do that right now. Play along on one surface just to get the rhythm. And once you've done that a bunch of times, and that starts getting boring, then you want to put it where it belongs. Is it on the top? Is it on the side? Is it on the rim? But the first pass, you should just play, can I do the rhythm in one place? So let's do that maybe. I think that might be helpful. And at some point I need to come, maybe I can get it all on here. Most of it on here at the same time. And get the music going, because that's a way to tackle this one. Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so at least it gives you some idea. The hardest place is probably E, where you've got that right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So it's straight triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, which would be quite boring. We're going to accent. Which keeps that nice little rhythm. Plus, it's, you know, in that second measure there, we're going right, left, left. So, you know, there's layers of learning. So the first layer is rhythm. Then you add the spice, accents. Then you add the location of where it is and put it all together. So, yeah, this is a nice one that you could pretty much get away with just playing quarter notes or quarter notes and triplets every so often, wherever you want. They kind of fit. So it's kind of a good one to start with. So I think that is about it for today. And I will send you some play-alongs and send me your suggestions or what you'd like to do. And then for Sue and Valerie, if you could send this to me, then I can make it available and then people can have it to practice along to, because people actually do, you know. Yeah, any last parting words?
Yeah, I appreciate you going over the accents, because that's one thing that I am lousy at, getting the accents right. Yeah.
Yeah, so the trick about accents, and I know we've said this before, but sometimes hearing it again helps, instead of thinking I'm playing and I have to do an accent which is louder, drop everybody down and the accents will naturally pop. So whenever I see accents, even though I might be at forte, if I'm playing already at forte and I got an accent on top of that, just bring everybody down to way down piano, and then your accents pop. If you're already up here, you can't really hear them. So that's a huge concept, but it's sometimes harder to do than, you know, you think of it, but it's harder to do. But that's the trick. That's the trick. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you, Sue and Valerie. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.